Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. After last week's debacle with those two appalling cards from New York in Times Square and in Riyadh, and the complete non-event, the non-effort of so many fighters, we've had a pretty good weekend because we had Anthony Kakache stopping Leewood, which was a war, both fighters giving everything, as we expected. Both 36 years old too. Showing the youngsters how it's done, I suppose. And then we had Emmanuel Navarrete in a fantastic fight with Charlie Suarez. Suarez is also 36. 36 must be, the age for this particular weekend, I suppose, But again, an older fighter showing people how it's done. Lost a unanimous technical decision to Navarrete, although I am hearing that it's probably going to be changed to a no contest because the injury that curtailed it was not from a headbutt, as the referee ruled, but from a punch. But that was a great fight anyway. And then, over in Japan, earlier today, which is Sunday, May the 11th, we had a rematch between Fernando Martinez and Kazuto Ioka. And this is a rematch of a very good fight from, I think, about 10 months ago, which was won on a unanimous decision by Martinez. And yeah, I thought he won the fight, no doubt about it. One of the guys gave every round to Martinez, which was ridiculous. It was close enough to warrant a return. I might have this wrong, but the original fight in 2024 was for the IBF and WBA super-flyweight titles, and this rematch was just for the WBA title. I think the IBF was made vacant for whatever reason. I have no idea why. But anyway, Martinez did repeat his unanimous decision win over 12 rounds. He remains unbeaten in 17 fights now. And Ioka slips to 31 wins with 16 KOs, 4 defeats and a draw. He's never been stopped, ever. Former world champ himself, WBO, IBF, I think he's held WBA belts. And I think he's held belts at minimum weight as well. Now this was at Superfly, so he'd gone through the ranks, the rankings, the divisions, as many of these Japanese fighters do in the lower divisions. I know he lost to Amnat Ruanrong for the IBF flyweight title in about, that must be 10 years ago at least. I mean, this guy's a veteran. Guess how old he is? 36. Amazing. All the 36-year-olds are coming out to play. Right. But anyway, Martinez did win this fight. By the way, Martinez himself is 33. He's from Argentina. And he did deservedly repeat the win over Ioka, but not without a lot of action and, in fact, a big scare in the 10th round because Fernando Martinez is if you've ever seen him before, as you would expect, he's only a short guy, he's about 5'2". He comes in, has a right old row with you. Physically very, very strong. He's squat, even for, even 5'2", and he's, super flyweight, still a squat looking guy, uses his physicality, throws a lot of punches, as we always get with the smaller guys. And he kind of tries to sort of outwork you, maybe overwhelm you. In his 18 wins, he's now got nine KOs, which is only a 50% KO ratio, but he probably hits harder than that. But he was on the floor in the 10th round. He was standing in front of Ioka. They were swapping punches, and he was way, way too square and right on the line. And Ioka landed a huge left hook, which went through the guard, caught him flush, and down he went. Now, he wasn't badly hurt. In fact, in the 9th round, Ioka had been coming on strong, because the first half of the fight, it looked like Martinez was just, I'm almost tempted to say, a bit too young. He was too busy, too physically strong. Like I said, bear in mind, Ioka did once fight. I mean, many, many years ago, over a decade ago, he fought at, minimum weight. So we're talking about a guy who's a little fella coming up to Superfly and taking on a guy who I think is a natural, has spent most of his career around that weight, around the sort of 115 weights, maybe even a little bit. He might have fought a little bit higher earlier on in his career, I don't know. But he looked like the more powerful guy, and he was, for the first 6 rounds, not really bossing Ioka, but containing his own aggression or containing Ioka's aggression, and he was able to, have the first word and the last word, and basically put the physical prowess on Ioka, and Ioka was just a little bit behind. But then, like I say, Ioka starts to come back into it. I'm not saying Ioka lost every one of the first 6 rounds, don't get me wrong. I mean, was it the third or fourth? They had a right old firefight. Real swapping punches, and Ioka was going nowhere, and he didn't at any point look hurt. Ioka, not really, maybe a little rattle sometimes, but not what you'd say was really buzzed. But he started to come on strong around about the 8th, 9th. Ioka started to edge his way back into it, and I thought, I wonder if Martinez is running out of steam here, because he did set this frenetic pace. And then there was a knockdown in the 10th round, and you were thinking, well, Ioka probably needs the last 2 rounds to win. But in the 11th, he went back to boxing. I don't know whether that was the right tactic. I mean, I understand that it had been a long, very arduous fight, and he couldn't really go hell for leather. Not really, probably not at his age. And as the taller man, he's 2-3 inches taller than Martinez. Probably, well, he's listed at that anyway. Slightly longer reach, maybe boxing was the option. I don't know. But anyway, in the 11th round, the knockout, the chance to repeat the knockout or the knockdown, it got away. And in the 11th, it was a close-ish round. I gave it to Ioka, but it was still quite close. And in the final round, it was really more of the same, just exchanging punches. And I think overall, over the 12 rounds, Martinez did win the fight. But it was very, very entertaining. Very entertaining. At 36, maybe Ioka will call it a day now. He's had a great career. Won belts at different weights. You never know. You might get another chance. He doesn't look shot, not by a long way off. I mean, it shows you with people like Ioka, with Kakache and Lee Wood and Charlie Suarez, all these 36-year-olds. If you live the life, you can stretch your career out into your late 30s and still be world class. Okay, you can say, well, maybe Lee Wood should call it a day now. There's a few miles on the clock, and that was his 3rd stoppage defeat in 4 defeats. But Ioka's still at this point never been stopped. Kakache's only lost once. Charlie Suarez looks like that's going to be a no contest, so he will remain unbeaten, because he came in unbeaten against Navarrete, the much bigger, stronger Navarrete. I don't know. Will Kazuto Ioka retire? I don't know. But if he does, he's had a fantastic career. And as for Mr. Martinez, Senor Martinez, he's an exciting fighter too. I mean, these little guys, they really are terrific to watch. They really are, because they throw so many punches. Yeah, I mean, Martinez has got, not only has he got back-to-back wins over Kazuto Ioka now, he also had back-to-back wins over Joe and Ancajas. And they were IBF super-flyweight title shots. And they were 12-round bust-ups as well. So this guy can do 12 rounds like he's he was born to do it. And it'll be another fight. It'll be other terrific fights. He deserves it. If you're talking super flyweights, that IBF title, I believe, is vacant because it got taken off him. But if we're talking super flyweights, of course, we can't not mention Jesse Bam Rodriguez, who is probably the best of the absolute lot. But don't get me wrong. I mean, I would pick Bam to beat Martinez. I would pick him to beat Ioka. But both those guys would give Bam, for as long as it lasted, a good old row. So I don't know, if you didn't see this fight, have a look on YouTube. It's on there. And let me know what you think. And yeah, thanks for watching the video. If you did enjoy it, hit the like button and the subscribe button if you're new. and spread the word about Joe Stunner Boxing. Many, many thanks as always. Hope you enjoyed your weekend. I'll catch you later. Bye for now.